Good morning, guys. Theo here on Common Sense. Today we're gonna go through the full diet of the solar night. Yes, because you guys asked me so nicely when I asked you to ask me nicely, I'm gonna go through the full thing and not leave any stone untouched. I'm gonna show to you guys that when you ask, you shall receive, and when you give Theo, he always gives more back. So we're gonna go through the entire thing, and it's gonna be more holistic than most diets. You're gonna be surprised that I put some things in the diet. But so we're here in the morning now, and the first thing the solar night does in the morning is to take some sodium with a glass of water. Because, well, to rehydrate after the night, it's not only about water then, it's about the salt too. We have the Himalayan pink salt here. So it's not only for rehydration, it's also that when I've gone out to have my morning sun and little morning exercise routine, I'm gonna have my espresso. That's something I changed recently. I used to have an espresso very shortly after waking up, but now I want to wake up naturally from the morning sunlight and from just moving with my body. I have taken a cold shower as well, and so the salt will actually make your gut handle the coffee better on an empty stomach. It will make it less acidic, more neutral, the pH balance in your gut. Some people can get problems with the gut from drinking black coffee on an empty stomach, so the salt just sorts that out. But so the morning sun is part of the diet. What you got to understand about the sun is depending on where it is located, the angle is different colors of the light beams. So in the morning, it's ultra red beams that will both set your circadian rhythm. It tells your body what time of the day it is, so that the body syncs up better with how it's supposed to be throughout the day. It's going to help you sleep better at night to get morning sunlight, and also those weaker beams at the start of the day will prepare your skin, prime your skin to be able to take them ultraviolet, stronger beams later in the day that we also need. But you gotta understand, the sun is part of your diet. It's literally like a spectrum of micronutrients you get in there. So yes, I'm actually gonna prepare my breakfast for later. I do that sometimes. All right, guys, so I've literally put my bowl on a pedestal here so you guys can see it. And I do this sometimes, that I prepare my breakfast several hours before I'm actually having it. Or breakfast, my first meal of the day. I eat in an 8-hour eating window of 3 meals right now, and I have my first meal at around 10 or 11 in the day. And so on a day like this, I'm going to be out and about. I'm going to have a Greek lesson, I'm going to have a couple of client calls, and I'm going to train. And so it's just very nice that when you're done training, this is just ready, waiting for you when you get home. So what I want you to understand is, I'm not giving you a diet like copy this verbatim. This is the way, the one way to eat. No, this is a template for you to use for yourself, because us solar knights and maidens, we share a lot of stuff, but we also have our individual preferences and needs that we need to look out for. And look, even for me, this is true that I follow my template, but I will change it around according to my goals and situation at the time. So right now, for instance, it's summer. I'm highly active. It's much easier to just be moving around, recording the videos outside, just walking around doing that. I don't do that as much in the winter, So I actually add in a bunch of stuff to get the calories up, because I'm staying this lean right now, eating like 3,500 calories, and I actually want to gain weight now. So it's a battle against getting too shredded. But so we start here with a solar night protein shake. I call it a protein shake. It's more of a protein bowl, But so the foundation here is Greek yogurt. And look, this is Greek yogurt is fattier. It's 10% fat. When I'm, not eating as much or trying to cut or something, I will use less of this and more of some other dairy. I still have a click of it, but more of some other dairy product that's lower fat. But right now it's good. I need the calories. So put that in there. Then we have the honey. Kind of same thing here. I will use less honey when when I don't have to eat as much. Right now I go for 2 big spoons with this one. So I want there. I'm fine with making a little mess here, because I'm gonna clean it up after the video. I want everything to be smooth when I prepare it. The bachelor solar night life, One beautiful day, my wife will be doing this for me. But yeah, we have the honey. And so then, when we're here, we wanna just smush it around so it mixes real nice. And then sometimes I go for pure Greek yogurt, but I like to add, you know, like I said, I will have mainly kefir when I'm trying to keep the calories lower. Now I just add a little bit so it isn't quite as, you know, it gets just a bit more liquid, you know. So we put that in there. And the nice thing with this is that you can put all your supplements. Supplements is of course not the main thing at all. It's like 0.5% of your diet at the top. Like, it's when you got the fundamentals down, when you've nailed your diet, then is when you have something to gain from supplements. But so I'll pick them up here. So the ones I put in here is, well, I have the two that isn't a powder. They are in the capsule. Is magnesium biglycinate. Especially, you know, magnesium is one of the hardest micronutrients to get from diet, especially when you're a highly active, well, solar knight, like I am. So it's just a little boost from that. Well, you will get it from some food, from some meat, from some salmon and that. But yeah, then I have boron. I take 9 milligrams. And so boron, you can get it from food, like avocados, I think dates. But I don't eat that very often. I could eat avocado more often, but it's just convenient. The purpose with boron is it can actually lower SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin. And that sex hormone binding globulin can bind up your testosterone if it's too high. That meaning that if you have high total testosterone, it doesn't really matter if it's all bound up and you can't use it, so it will help you get higher free testosterone. And this, anecdotally, in my experience, this works. And I you know, you will see it around. There are other people than me that do this. And so 9 milligrams, to be honest, now I've done this for so long time. It's just from my research, it's a dose I ended up with, you know. And then I have that vitamin D3 plus K2. So it's summer here and we don't really need vitamin D, but when I took my blood work last summer, when I had been out in the sun a lot, I was within the reference range, but very low. It's, you know, with being this white, that's the dilemma, you know. Or I guess that shouldn't be the dilemma. It's the black people that have a harder time with the vitamin D. Well, anyway, it's not that I'm unhealthy if I take, but if I can, it's a little biohack. If I can boost my vitamin D in this way, then why not? And the K2 is just necessary to be able to take up the D3. There already is some in the Greek yogurt and that, but you know, this supplement was already vitamin D3 and K2. So I don't have any specific brands here I'm recommending, by the way. This is a Swedish brand that, you know, I just look them up before I get them and see if I trust them or not, you know. So the last one we have, and by the way, the reason I open up the capsules like this, they are cellulose and they're not necessarily, it's not the end of the world. I would at sometimes eat the capsule, you know, take the capsule, but it is cellulose that we can't digest, so if we can get rid of it and just mix it in here, why not? So 1 second. The last thing we have is obviously creatine, the best natural supplement for building muscle and strength. Yes, and I actually take 10 grams of this now, and 5 grams have been the recommended dose for a long time, but now some studies have shown that maybe especially like highly active guys like myself will use up more and actually need 10 grams. So I go for 10 grams here. And now we have all the supplements in there. So of course, just mix it around a bit. Yeah. And now we're gonna add whey. And the whey, to be honest, it's a lot for taste. It's of course processed. The whey in and of itself is great. You know, milk protein, there are two, casein and whey. But in milk, it's 82% casein and 18% whey. And casein is a very, very slow digesting protein. And some people actually are intolerant to that, too, get some issues from it. And whey is very, very fast digesting and also very high absorption rate. So for the first meal of the day, I feel like it can even be a little small biohack, like you know, eating protein is going to be the main thing. But for your first meal, when you're breaking your fast for the day, to have a protein that very quickly will be amino acid circulating in your bloodstream, just seems like a little biohack to me. So you of course want to pick a brand with the least amount of additives as possible. This one, it's temporary right now, you guys. It's a decent one. It's a Swedish brand. I take like just under 2 scoops of this. Chocolate peanut flavor. This whole thing, depending on what you put in, but with the honey and that, it tastes like Snickers, you know, it's amazing. It's so good. Probably gonna fast forward here. All right, so now we have the actual goo, the shake. Now we're gonna add some berries. I just personally enjoy frozen berries. It doesn't really matter that much. But high quality ones, of course, Swedish blueberries, great. We have the blueberries, that's good. And the raspberries. And this is for antioxidants, some micronutrients, a little bit of fiber. You know, protein heavy meals like this can become constipating, so that actually a little bit of fiber is good too. Yeah, put these back. Yeah, and so this is now something that I don't do most of the time. I have nuts. I'm not a huge fan of nuts, at least not in large amounts, because I don't think our guts handle them very well when we eat too much of them. But when we can tolerate it, it's of course, there are many micronutrients in these different nuts. Can actually also help a bit with the digestion. It's about hitting the right dose, right? You know, many of these things, they are good for the digestion or for bowel movements because they are, you know, because we can't fully digest them. So you want to hit the sweet spot there. So I don't know, for me it's probably here like 70 grams of nuts in total, but I have hazelnuts, I have the para nuts or Brazil nuts, they're called too, and the walnuts. And so sometimes when I want this to be leaner again, I would instead, just for texture of the taste, I would have these rice puffs, Rice Krispies, you know, toasted rice, because a little bit of texture, but it's not a whole lot of calories because it is like rice, but you know, they're filled with air when they're like that. But so it's just nice way of getting some texture without making it too high calorie, or basically very low calorie in those. But this is what it looks like now. So this I'm gonna enjoy in the sun later with some, with some raw beef liver, nature's multivitamin. Solar Night just loves it. I mean, copper, one of the things that's very hard to get in your diet that's in there, but you know, there's so much vitamin A, zinc, it's easier almost to tell you what's not in here. Like just go Googling for beef liver nutrition. And we're gonna have a carrot with this. Solar Night has a carrot with each meal. It's good at cleaning out the gut, but it's a little bit of fiber. You know, the fiber debate, you know, in the mainstream, of course, fiber is like, oh, it's so important. And then the carnivore and keto people a lot are like, no, it's not good. To me, it serves a purpose. I know in Sweden, like from the authorities, the recommendation is like 30 to 50 grams per day. That's too much in my opinion. I've noticed that when I stick between like 15 and 30 grams, it's perfect. It just works. My bowel movements and digestion works great then. But then, what I'll do before breaking the fast is I'll enjoy some sun soda. And for you that don't know, it's coconut water and orange juice mixed 50-50. And we add some sodium either in it or we bomb it before we start drinking it. And this is something I've started experimenting with recently. I've noticed that when I'm this lean and I'm so active at the start of the day, it just helps me a whole lot to have a, you know, fast carb source and hydrating drink like that when I'm out in the sun and all that, you know. So yeah, it's been it's been difficult when I've done the intermittent fasting to even have calories before I have my first meal, because it feels weird. You're so used to not having it. But when I view it more, it's an electrolyte drink that just so happens to have some calories in it, because it's still not very high. I'll have 1 to 2 liters of it, 2 tops before breaking the fast, and that's 400 calories, then 2 to 400 calories. And also, I will start drinking it like an hour before my workout. I'll be in the gym, depending on the workout, 1 to 2 hours, and then I break the fast. So, you know, it's still very little added like that. One thing that I forgot that I've added recently is also some cocoa flakes. Also very high in calories. It's funny, you know, because a lot of you follow me for weight loss and that, but for me, it's the opposite. I need to fucking get in all the calories. This is the breakfast. Let's jump to when we enjoy it in the sun. All right, guys. So with a Greek lesson, a few client calls, and a leg workout in the backpack, we're now here to enjoy our first meal of the day. And I actually hit a paused ass to grass front squat with 140 kilos today, which I have done before, but if you follow me on Instagram, you know that the camera changed sides when I tried to film it. So right when I started, it filmed the wall, and you just hear me go like, "Wah!" But now I have it on video too, so I guess I put it in here. But yes, we're here, it's like 10:40, and like I said, first meal usually between 10 and 11 for me. And obviously I'm here out naked in the sun to enjoy this meal, because you gotta realize, guys, the sun is part of your diet. You get nutrients from the sun that you can't otherwise, and other benefits. And so I always write this down, or always write it down. I mean, I've written something down because I'm sure I'll stumble on my words otherwise. But all food is stored light energy, all macronutrients. When you metabolize food, you release light into the mitochondria. The mitochondria is like the energy factory of the cell, right? And the mitochondria needs light to produce energy. And this is basically what health is. Mitochondrial efficiency equals good health. The higher, the better your health is. And so if you're uncomfortable with this and you don't really have the option where, you know, you'd be seen by too many people, you know, you can also, you know, ease into it. Just be out even with clothes on. That's a level up. Being out with your shirt off, another level up. And then the final level is, of course, to be naked. But of course, we'll start here. I've actually, back in the day, and you know, if you've been following for a long time, I've cheated. I put some of this in my mouth and then throw this in because I really can't stand the iron taste. And I realized I have so few areas right now where I can challenge myself, like with fear and discomfort, and I guess this is the next level. So I'm applying progressive overload. I've been up to 3 pieces that I eat on their own now. I don't think I can trump that today, but we'll see. That nutritious beef flavor. Kind of small, please, otherwise I'm fucking not gonna make it. It's funny, it's just because we're not used to it, you know. There are from this, these indigenous tribes, there are like pictures of kids that have, through a fresh prey, that, yeah, the other people are brought there. They're just running to get the liver. So it's just, we can, it's already easier. I can't get down another piece now. But the first, especially the first one is okay, but then it becomes a bit much. And then I cheat. So this is the cheat. If you want to be able to take nature's multivitamin, the beef flavor, but you can't stand the taste yet, just know that I've been doing it this way for years. I don't always spill on my chin, but like that. Yeah, but now you're not gonna have to watch me eat the whole meal. No, I'm gonna be out. It's a nice day. Another client call, talk with some friends, shoot some other videos, but because I'm not sure that I'll be able to put this video out on the day of shooting it. Yeah, you see what we jump to now. Alright guys, why do I say that at the start of all the clips that are not at the start of the video, but when it's a new clip? Alright guys, but okay, so now I've been doing some more client stuff, I've been doing some errands in the city, been sending some voice messages back and forth, and I actually just came in from my God stream, like why atheists' brains are too big. Yeah, that's right, that was right before, and there was a lot of activity in the chat, so now I'm actually having this meal slightly later than I would have otherwise. It's like 20 minutes past 3 or something like that. I would have had it like half an hour earlier. I try to generally, you know, this is always, I want you to see it, you have a structure, like I talked about in my video Diet Mindset. You have something you go for, but you can't always get it close. So now this meal is slightly later, you know, but it's fine. But the thing is, it's a mini optimization again. If you eat meals too close to each other, you don't get the fresh spike from the protein in your protein synthesis. So it's actually slightly more optimal for the gains if you can go leave at least 3 hours between the meals. But your training and total amount of calories and protein is going to matter more. So it's a mini optimization. But so you see, that's why I shoot for 4 hours between the meals in my 8-hour eating window. But today, so now it's almost 5, and I guess I can squeeze in the 3. It's still pretty good, right? But so for my second meal here, I guess you can barely see it now. I was almost lifting up the camera, but I'm obviously naked again, so I gotta be pretty careful here. But yeah, let me tell you about that first. Now, so the morning sun I talked about, it sets your circadian clock and it primes your skin for the stronger light later in the day. The ultraviolet light that I'm now getting, and this light, this is the one we really want to. The first one, they have a bunch of more additional benefits that you can go look up yourself. I'm focusing on the ones that I find most important for you guys to know. This is the real deal. The morning sun is very important, but it's also to prepare you for this. But this is where you get your dopamine and testosterone, you guys. Yes, it's true. If you don't believe me, go look it up. All the people that are, oh, testo booster, what can I do to raise my testosterone? Just fucking eat good food out in the sun, bro. And your testosterone is gonna freaking explode if you didn't do that before. So yes, we're here again. And so for my second meal, that's usually the biggest one. I have here potatoes, Swedish fresh potatoes, they're called, very good. And I have now beef patties, very often my second meal. I usually order from a butcher, and then it's, you know, beef, minced meat, 10% fat. Now, the butcher is quite busy, they're hard to get orders from, and also I need, again, I'm in the space when I'm super active, I'm working so much and I'm out about so much, I just expend a whole lot of energy, so I went now for, you know, the mixed mincemeat, so it's 50-50 pig and cow, is like 20% fat instead. And so yeah, what I do with the potatoes, now I don't put any fat in the pan because this is all fatty meat, and when I just put it there, it will, you know, it will end up being fat in the pan. And so I cut the potatoes up into little pieces and I just fry them in the fat there. And I wanted you to see, I have a little bit of barbecue sauce on here actually. It's a very good one, like an expensive one. So when you read the ingredient lists, it's really only stuff you like in there. No, I mean, there might be a little bit of maltodextrin, but that's like the only thing. All the others are natural ingredients. And I don't always have this with my meal. I just kind of wanted to show you that even me, you guys, like, yeah, I can have a little treat, a little sauce. So I wanted to do it specifically on my meal in this video for you. Yeah, but I guess that's it. The next meal, I'm not going to have sun here. I'm actually going to have a dog here, then I'll see how that goes. But oh yeah, let's say, I'm gonna have to edit this video either way, so, but you know, the carbs, sugar is great. I want you to understand that sugar, healthy sugar for a healthy person is great. So healthy sugar, but I mean from natural sources, like the honey I had in the first solar protein shake there, and you know, this sun soda, the orange juice, the fructose in natural form, but it isn't extracted and processed like that. You have to understand that stuff, when it is in its natural form, it's way different. It's more complex than just carbs, fat, protein, you know. In what form is it? And most of the time, of course, there are processed food that are all right, like juice is in a sense processed, right, because it's squeezed. But yeah, you know, the more natural the state of the food, the less processed it is, the much better you're gonna deal with everything. It's way different having like honey, fresh raw honey from local farmers on Gotland, you know, than having like you know, some hyper processed sugary candy or something. So yeah, but anyway, let's get into. I'll have one bite on stream. I mean, that's it's the mukbang thing, right? Very good. I'll see you at the last meal. Alright guys, for like the billionth time this video. So we're here with the final meal. I have now cleaned out the house a bit. You know, I'm trying to level up in every aspect of myself. That's what you gotta realize. You have your strong and weak points, but you don't have to accept that you're just useless at something. But because I feel like I'm not an orderly person at all. I score very low in orderliness when I do you know, like psychological tests, but that doesn't mean that I can't improve, right? So I'm trying to actually just get a bit better at cleaning out my house. Yeah, so I did that for a while. I went out with, yeah, so, you know, recycle some stuff, and then I went to pick up my uncle's dog that's actually here right now. It's sleeping here. Let's see, we're gonna see. Hey buddy. Stravinsky is his name. I went for a walk with him, holding him in the searcher position. I realized, you know, the searcher position is in the elbows, and you know, it's like, you know, when there is the option to hold something in the elbow, why would you hold it with your hands or anything else? It just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, so we're here for the last meal. So today, this meal, I will sometimes, back in the day, I used to very often meal 2 and 3 were you know, very similar or exactly the same, and I would sometimes add in something else. Now I'm trying to go for a bit more variety in the third meal, getting a little bit less lazy. Usually, now, I used to have eggs. Sometimes, you know, I swap it around a bit. The eggs are very important. One of the, you know, super beef liver eggs. There you have like two of the best foods in the world. Very important for testosterone, you guys. But so, yeah, I have eggs now. I used to have it with my breakfast. Sometimes now I'm adding them into whatever I eat at night. Or at night with my dinner. And it's like right before 7 now in the evening, by the way, guys. And by the way, something I did too before this, I started editing the video. So all I have to do after this clip is go finish it for you guys. So here we have 6 eggs with salmon, basically, that I fried. It's like an omelette, but it's more like mashed around. And I fried it in tallow today. I will do it in butter sometimes, but now I have tallow. I really enjoy that. Oh, and by the way, I should say the last meal I did have a carrot too, but sometimes I chew on it when I cook, and I just kind of forgot that I'm doing the video, so. Oh yeah, I should get in here. Salmon specifically, or salmon or some other fatty fish. I try to cycle in twice per week for those nice fatty acids that we get from the fatty fish, right? It's a really great source of magnesium, actually. I think salmon is probably the best magnesium source, you know, when you get it from the actual food. But yeah, as you can tell, I have the milk too. I'm not gonna drink all of it. I just remembered I had this left from after the stream this Sunday when I broke or Saturday when I broke the Sun Soda fast. And this is just orange juice, so this is not so carb heavy. I will have most of my carbs with meal 1 and 2. And to be honest, I have no very specific argument for that. It's just that I'm doing really well on this amount of carbs. I don't really feel like I need to push it here. But in my experience, having some fructose with a meal is just great for the metabolism. So that's why I still have a glass of orange juice. And this is actually just the orange juice now. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna, do the mukbang. Take one bite of this on camera. But there you go, guys. And yeah, I think I said I wasn't gonna have the last meal out here, but it's actually the best place to eat. Yeah, someone is looking at my envious of my meal. I'm gonna feed him beef liver tomorrow, so don't worry, my guy. But yeah, guys, so now I've gone through, you know, so I want you to see a lot of the things. Like I could have included more, like my entire process, you know, of course, but diet, it's just one of the things in the holistic process. The carrot method, the life process. That's actually what I'm calling myself. I'm a life process coach. I finally found it. I was thinking so long. I hate life coach. So many idiots call themselves that, you know. But life needs to be in there because it's holistic, you know. And you are coaching. Finally, I come up with it. It's a life process coach. But yeah, guys, I want you to see stuff as sunlight and grounding your feet against the ground, and this as part of your diet. Things that you need to thrive, you know. There's of course more things like the exercise and all that, but I wanted to put some specific because you can of course combine sunlight with the eating and stuff. And it actually relates directly to the energy production there in the mitochondria, right? So, but yeah, the point again with this video is not that also this is the way to eat, this is what you should copy. But now I've given you my kind of template that I use, that I will switch around, but this is kind of like a foundation that I will move around, you know, add a 4th meal if I'm really bulking big time. If I'm cutting or just maintaining or doing more productive stuff, I'll just have the 2 meals, la-di-da. But this is kind of the baseline. And so I just wanted you to see how I structure it, how I think, and just for inspiration, you can start with my template and you might end up somewhere completely different, you know. But it's kind of how with my food choices, how I started out with a vertical diet and then I did my kind of little twist on that, right? So I think that's all for this video, you guys. So, I mean, I've said that this is not my favorite type of content. I guess it's because I'm high energy now and I don't mind actually making it nice and tidy, or, you know, camera cooking and stuff, because, you know, I'm kind of a slob. Like I said, I'm not very orderly, but now I'm high state. But you know, if there's anything I didn't cover, or anything that this video made you think about, like, oh, how do you deal with these things, or this thing in your process, you know, please let me know in a comment. Please like. All comments and likes help support the channel, so comment either way, it's very much appreciated. That helps the algorithm, helps more people see it. You guys have been great lately, but you can be better. We can always update and level up, right? Please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, all the kind of cool shit, guys. I'll see you later. Peace.